first thing that comes to mind with their defense?
They're really fast, fast and well coached.
Their red zone defense has been very effective, only 6 touchdowns and 15 chances. Why? What do you see in them when you get into the red zone?
Well, I think they do a really good job. Obviously, already being in a condensed field, they're able to kind of tighten up on you a little bit, and they can do a good job just applying pressure with 4 guys and sometimes 3. I think they kind of rely on their quickness a little bit down there, and they do a great job.
Are you still seeing some very positive strides from the offensive line?
Yeah, I think I do. I think I think even last week was better than the week before. So I think we're trending in the right direction there.
When you see the progress week to week so far, is there a certain thing that stands out about the progress, or is it just experience?
I think experience is a lot of it, but I also think a little bit of confidence helps, and even last week we asked them to do some more things than what we previously did, and they were able to handle that. So I think overall comprehension, overall execution, I think we're pleased with where that group's heading.
What about the idea that now you have 5 guys who have kind of fit into specific roles too? I mean, does that help the? I
do. Yeah, I think it helps a lot. Obviously, just being able to practice next to each other for every day of the week is important and beneficial. And then, obviously, that was only the second game, I think, where those guys are all right next to each other. But there is, that kind of gets talked about a lot, but there's a little bit of truth to that. I think just being familiar with, those guys start to have certain calls they use together and those kind of things. That helps.
How's Brian Shetta grading out so far?
He did really well last week. So he was very pleased with him, and he works his butt off and plays really, really hard.
At what point does Mike Warren's fumbleitis become, I don't want to say crisis, but become very significant into possibly other players?
Well, I think fumbles are always a crisis. Regardless of who fumbles the football, it's a thing that we take really seriously. We work really hard at it, and quite honestly, Mike works really hard at it, and we just got to find a way to continue to get better and help him. And obviously, he wasn't happy he fumbled, and certainly didn't mean to. And it's our job to find a way to help him prevent that in the future, and pick our defense up and not allow that to happen.
How much do guys like Shetta, Nick Fett, walk-ons, former walk-ons that had that hunger for a long time, kind of help to anchor that group, keep it, striving?
Well, I think it goes to show you, I've always believed that offensive line, it's a really fun position to coach, because if you have great attitude and effort and you have a willingness to get better, and you're really tough, you always have an opportunity. You don't know when, but you're always going to have an opportunity to make yourself into a better football player. It's kind of the one position where you can almost change your talent level. And I think those 2 guys probably exemplify that. They just keep sticking around, and we're just really grateful that those kids did stick around and that they've been playing as hard as they possibly can play. And good things happen to guys that work hard. That's kind of the old adage, and obviously it's worked for them.
Remember at the start of the season, Coach Golish had said the tight ends have to kind of build up, or I guess earn the confidence of everybody around them to start getting passes. Are they earning more, I guess, confidence and respect from everybody, from you guys?
Yeah, it's funny. The tight ends, when they get the football, obviously I think there's they were able to get a few catches, here and there, and it's kind of, sometimes the defense allows them to get those balls and sometimes they don't, and we kind of had a few things designed to get those guys the ball last week, and obviously some of it worked, some of it didn't, but I think that group, Coach Golish has done a good job. They've just continued to work and get better, and just keep working, and good things happen to them. And I think they caught a few balls last week, and then maybe a couple the week before. So obviously that's trending in the right direction. So we got to keep kind of building on that. Now that you see that we can use them a little bit, and they've done a good job.
How do you feel about the production you've gotten from the M position? Trevor Ryan's had a couple good games, and then obviously what DeShonte did in the last game.
Yeah, I think we're really happy. First of all, Trevor returning, I think really that is such a pivotal role in the football game, just what he was able to do in the return game, which obviously can't go unnoticed. And then we were obviously able to get a lot of production last week out of that position between Trevor and DeShonte. So, I think that's always been an important piece of what we want to do offensively. And, man, those two have just kind of kept along, and you know, I think the week before that, I think that we started to see some production there as well. So, you know, happy for those two kids, and we just got to keep trying to find ways to get in the football.
How has Deshaunte been able to produce at such an early part of his career?
I tell you, it's interesting. He's a very smart kid that works really hard. I think he comes from a really good high school football program. And, you know, I think sometimes that goes unnoticed, but that's important. You know, he goes a really good high school football program that was really, really competitive in big-time high school football in the division and conference that he was in high school. And also, I think, you know, sometimes, and we've had guys that have played that position before that were high school quarterbacks. You know, they just kind of have a little bit of an innate way to find some space and, you know, kind of have some instincts there. And but I also think Deshaunte's worked really hard because there's a lot that goes on in that position. I was just talking to someone coming over with, you know, blocking's different, especially if you're a high school quarterback. You know, I think that's a different piece of it. And then, you know, he's also involved in a lot of special teams, so there's a lot coming at him. And he's in his first semester of classes. So, you know, there's a lot of things that are on his plate, but he's kind of just been able to keep working hard and kind of sticking with it. And I think he's really now grasping everything that we're trying to do offensively. Even, you know, when you're a freshman, even terminology is hard. So, you know, he's kind of just getting to that point, and I think it's really happy for that kid that it kind of showed out, you know, on Saturday.
Could you utilize his arm at all still?